Hey guys, back again. My name is Billy Roberts. I'm a concept artist. I've been working in the entertainment industry for nearly a decade now, and today we're going to be talking about how to draw forms and how to pretty much draw anything you want. So stick around and enjoy. So, we're going to talk about forms and what that actually means in terms of how to study them and what you will be looking to do to increase your knowledge around constructing forms in different angles and perspectives. So currently on the screen, I am working through the stages of form. This is like a breakdown that I believe is the natural process of developing your understanding of form. So stage one is very rudimentary, like using modified geometry, simple cubes. Stage two is where you start to modify those forms and combine cubes and cylinders together. You're also modifying the connection points. And then stage three is where you take the references and the studies of things that you're trying to draw, like the figure or humans or pretty much anything, and you're able to apply these geometric modifications to the reference knowledge that you've obtained as well. So that would be stage three. I would say, just as a realistic outlook on this, you are talking about probably about a year of drawing and studying and using references to get to stage three. I've been drawing for probably 15 years, so not all of that time has been spent drawing humans, right? I'm a generalist, so I do environments and weapons and vehicles and all sorts of stuff in the concept art world. So if you were to become a specialist towards the figure or humans, then that would obviously be achievable, I think, within a year. So I just wanted to show you guys the study of the three phases. And now I'm writing down on screen, as you can see, well, okay, how do we make these jumps, right? Because a lot of people can do stage one and they get a bit flustered heading towards phase three. So I'm going to break down each stage and what that means to me and how I believe you're able to make these jumps. Well, how I've actually made these jumps as well. And I know everyone's different, so you got to try your own things. But the first thing I did was I drew a bunch of cubes, not just cubes, cylinders, and just geometric stuff in perspective. That's going to get your brain wired towards thinking in three-dimensional shapes. There's a reason why everyone mentions this, is because it actually does wire your brain a different way. So please do them. And then the subtle change to that, after weeks of studying just the cubes, you would then modify the cubes by adding bends, twists, and quite, reasonably complex form shifts just onto that cube. We're not, you don't have to just use cubes like I've done. I've done like a more of a rectangle, and that's absolutely fine. Just anything that gets you interested into these phases would be really important. So the next part is just simply modify. So this is where we combine like cubes and cylinders and spheres and triangles. We combine all of these geometric shapes together, and we're making a bit more organic forms. And then the next stage is, well, okay, I can make the organic forms in perspective, but how do I join them? So the body of like a human figure is very complex, especially into where it joins. So what I have done in the past to skill up and become more confident in every subject matter, because I'm a generalist, I did these organic form joins, going from like a pretty rudimentary shape to a more organic joint object. So I'm just showing you guys here what that actually looks like. I'm explaining, yes, drawing like this is hard, but when it's hard, you learn. So you should be excited by when it becomes difficult. It means that that's something that you can work on. And you can see the phase 2, a little breakdown there. So for phase 3, I hate to break it to everyone, but a lot of this comes from referencing. So your visual library, but you have to be able to do phase 1 and phase 2 to then apply these references in perspective. So that's what we've got so far. And additionally, I would like to draw attention to shape contour drawing, where we're designing intricate contoured shapes in perspective. This is going to help with phase 3 as well. So for the drawing showcase, you can see that I start off with a bit of a gesture, and then I start blocking out a bit of a combination of phase 2. And there's a little bit of phase 1 in those first lines, but really it's a lot of phase 2 and phase 3 here. And you'll see very quickly I'm able to block in a pretty accurate representation of some type of hero character. And this is done purely through observation of references in the past, but also a decent understanding of three-dimensional shapes. So I can block in a pretty dynamic pose and design relatively efficiently, and I put it down to studying those phases in the past. And every time I go back and study, I get a better result. So there's the sketch, right? Very, very loose, but pretty accurate. And you might be wondering what I'll do for the rest of the video. Well, it's a bit of a bonus clip of me actually taking this into the next phases. Because you do have to ask yourself, why am I drawing in the first place? And for me, I'm drawing because I'm a concept artist and I want to be able to design interesting, fun, cool ideas for myself and my clients. So I always practice multiple phases, right? Because each phase is just as important as the one before it. So even if you wanted to have like a cool flat color rendered thing, very quickly you can see that having a strong sketch establishes much more than you think, right? Because I'm able to block in these shadows and all of these cavities and ambient occlusion pretty easily based on the fact that the sketch is already based in 3D. You know, it's still 2D, but I think you can see that it definitely helps with these next phases, having a strong sketch. So for anyone that's still watching, this is definitely a bonus portion of this video. I always like to show the reasons why I'm drawing in the first place, why I think it's so important to learn how to draw and study these fundamentals, is because when you go to apply it to a real actionable thing, if you're a concept artist or even if you're just a hobbyist, right, the next phases become exponentially easier. So I'm just playing around with this at this point because I know that this is for a YouTube video, so it goes through a few iterations of color and values, and even in this phase I have this big black outline for the entire design. But really what I'm trying to focus on the most here is just appealing shapes, appealing forms, and an appealing graphic design. And I think I've hit on that quite well. And basically what happens from this rendering phase is I just merge everything down and I just start going in and I paint over top of everything and refine my ideas to the best of my ability. And in this case it's being quite stylized, as you can tell by the face. It's very stylized. It is a little bit of a longer rendering process because I'm not able to cheat and use photo textures and stuff. But I really enjoyed creating this for everyone. And if anyone wanted to see my flat color to render process, please let me know in the comment section. I know a lot of concept artists are interested in this process because it's hyper efficient and it looks pretty good. And it really just sets you up for a strong design, start to finish at any phase. If someone were to ask you for a little look at to what you're doing or how it's going, you would have a pretty strong thing to show them. So I've just paused for a minute there, and I think I was trying to really figure out the primary color that I wanted to go with, and I ended up going for like a tealy greeny blue on the jacket, just to break it out from the white outfit and the dusty bronze mechanical parts and armor. So hopefully we can tell here that the processes of the form being in three-dimensional space before you begin, hopefully this is a good showcase of that, because I truly think that this piece is a great showcase for real-world application of the study. And I did do a lot of these form studies probably around 5 years ago, and I redid them recently, about 6 months ago, for a couple of weeks, and it really did help. Like, it helped a lot. So yeah, I think it's very beneficial, and if anyone gets inspired and wants to join the Discord and show me what they're studying, I'd be more than happy to help them out, guide them, push them in the right direction, and yeah, should be very enjoyable. So the Discord link is in the description. I'm going to plan on making some challenges when we get a few more people into the Discord. So at the moment, I'm just going to be promoting it until we have the correct numbers to be in there. And I look forward to seeing you guys there. So yeah, that's the image wrapped up. This is the final. And I put the ability of myself to be able to do this stuff down to the fundamentals. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.